Hey everybody, this is chknfoot, and this vlog is about depression, my depression, and uh, how it's a bigger deal than I thought it was. Which isn't to say that I haven't come a long way since the last time I really publicly talked about this in greater detail than just mentioning it in a video or whatever. But this year was weird. It was hard for a lot of people. 2016, it was a fucking pain in the ass. A lot of people died, and a lot of people dealt with a lot of shit that they didn't have to deal with, me included. But most of my stuff had to do with me. And I was sitting around for the past week. By the time I record this, it's about a week after New Year's. I don't remember what day it is off the top of my head, but it's been a weird week where I've just felt useless. And I made some little Twitter comment about it. And then I really thought about it. And I realized that the reason that I'm not able to do the things that I want to do is because of my depression and because I'm just not owning up to it the way that I did before when I made these leaps and bounds before. And I've let it get back into my life and control me. Now, luckily, again, my depression isn't as terrible as other people deal with. I'm glad that I don't have clinical level depression. Mine's very circumstantial, situational and that sort of thing. But it still kicks my ass every now and again. It still gives me weeks, entire weeks, months where I just struggle to do the simplest thing, where I'm afraid to go outside. So I've been dreading making this vlog for a long time because it scares the crap out of me to talk about. But if I don't talk about it, it eats me alive. So here we are. So I haven't talked about this yet, and I've been holding this off, but I just got to get it out there to make it fact and to make it no longer painful. But a year ago, give or take a month or so, I tried to kill myself. There it is. It sucks. It was scary. It was the worst I felt in my entire life. And I say that not to make this big dramatic statement like, please save me or anything like that, but so we can open a dialogue about it. Because of what I've told most people is that if they've asked, I've told them flat out what happened. But most people, and in public, I usually just say that, yeah, I had a nervous breakdown. It was really hard, which is true because those things have a tendency to go hand in hand, unfortunately. But I never really talked about basically attempted suicide. It was not my finest hour. It was most scared I've been since I was 18 and thought about the same fucking thing. And I sort of vilified it up until a year and some change ago. And it was an entire year, this previous year for me, of trying and accepting what I'm good at, trying to actually believe in myself again, and trying things that I've never tried before that I've always wanted to try to do, like taiko, like learning Japanese finally, like doing the Let's Play thing as much as I wanted to do it. More importantly, dancing as much as I wanted to, because it is my career, but if you're an artist, you know how that goes. You do something that you love so much, you start to kind of resent it. And I worked as hard as I possibly could for this past year to try to just be myself without working at it. I know that sounds weird and counterintuitive, but basically it was just getting out of my way. So let's talk about the big old elephant that I just dropped on your fucking china cabinet. This is how it kind of went, and I'm not going to give you a whole lot of detail because it's not really the point of this. The point is the way that it went about. So it was a long time coming. I got divorced when I was 26. I'm 31 now. And I hadn't really dealt with it. I thought I was okay. I thought everything had been dealt with in my head. And maybe most of it had, or at least to the point that I could handle it at the time. And I was seeing a shrink and who's a genius and a wonderful person. And has actually set me down the path of being a motivational and inspirational guru, speaker, whatever the fucking title actually is. And I saw him for a good year, felt like $1 million, and went away from it, traveled, had some adventures, gotten some good relationships, some bad relationships, friends and romantically, and then was alone, was single kind of for a year, and then just snapped. I've realized that I was trying to keep everything at bay with all these distractions. While I was learning about myself and everything, I still wasn't allowing myself to feel pain in the way that I needed to. I wasn't allowing myself to just get over it and apply that pain as knowledge for the future. And my shrink, brilliant Raymond Peterson, he says, one of my favorite quotes ever from him was, "Suffer well." And, you know, being brought up, you're taught not to suffer at all, if possible. You're trying to avoid it by any means necessary. You know, anything from just like out of sight, out of mind to, you know, the hedonic treadmill. But anyway, so yeah, roughly November, December rolls around last year, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I remember being in my house and thinking, today's the day. I'm going to do it tonight. But I knew that that's not what I wanted. It was just this compulsory thing that was going through my head. And I was there and I was prepped and I tried and I stopped myself because there was something was amiss. I had the wherewithal and the sense of self and the importance of self to say, this isn't right. So I got up and I got out, and luckily my friends were all, the group that I was rolling with at the time, they were all going out to a bar to dance and have a good time and just chill. And I went out there and it was a blast. And all these people were being nice to me. They had no reason to be nice to me. And I had a cocktail with two of my best friends, and I met some really wonderful new people. And I'm sitting there, and I remember just so clearly thinking, I'm not supposed to be a part of this. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna kill myself. That's right. So as the night ended, and this is still going through my head, I walk out and I'm hanging out with my friend, who you know as Kim Chica. She's one of my closest friends in real life. And I tell her what's going on. She's like, okay, we're going to hang out. We're going to talk about this. We're going to get this going. She didn't treat me like a freak. She didn't treat me like it was this big fucking dramatic thing. And to me, it really wasn't. It was just this problem that I had to get through in my head. And talking about it was the first thing that I needed to do. I needed to tell somebody, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I don't want to, but this is a very serious, it's very clear in my head. And so we spent all night. We got shitty food, and we hung out. She talked to me. And the most important thing about that is we just put it out there as fact, what I was feeling, and what she thought. It wasn't about this like you're a monster or you're a beautiful human, or there was no emotion. There was no drama. We just talked it out in fact. And it was the most helpful fucking thing that I could have done. Because after that night, I may have had those thoughts occasionally, but with that as the bedrock, that fact that just, no, I do not want to die. I want to live and be great. And this is just an issue that I have to deal with. After that, it was so fucking easy to deal with for a year. And in my darkest moments, because there's been some shit this year, I've thought about it for a blip. But it's never been like, I'm going to do that. It's only been this fucking problem that showed up, a problem that I can solve by myself because I have the equation to do it. But I will, so I just say that as like the bedrock for all of this. And the fact is, I have not been living up to my potential my entire life. And that sucks. Sucks fucking hard. And I haven't really admitted that. I don't think ever. I mean, maybe once or twice crying in this fucking emotional stupor, but never just sober and chill and clear-headed. I've never, ever lived up to my potential. And I've done a lot of stuff. I've done some great, wonderful things, but I've never really lived up to 100% of what I can do. And I've realized that. This last month has been a pain in the fucking ass. I've realized that I am wasting my time, not because of fear, but because of all things, understanding mortality. A lot of people who have dealt with this can attest, you think about killing yourself. You come to this point where if you choose not to, if you're lucky enough or strong-willed enough or whatever the thing is in your head, I don't want to generalize, even though it's a huge generalization. Whatever goes on in your head to make you survive and not go through with it or whatever, you understand your own mortality in a way that most people never will. And that put me on the path to try new things for a year. But it also, really just for this last month more than anything, has put me on this, what is the fucking point, really? if my entire life I have never lived up to my expectations, then what is the point in trying to build this new life that I'm trying to build? Trying to be an inspirational, motivational entity. Trying to be the best dancer I can be. Trying to do Let's Plays and vlogs and write books. Still haven't written my book, my new one. That's disappointing to me. And I love my new book. All of these things are not chores to me either. And the fact that I find more joy in doing housework now than I do preparing and doing these things that I really love is because I'm at that what the fuck is the point stage of accepting your mortality. And this is the next step for me. I don't know if this is going to fix it. I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to wake up and all of a sudden I'm going to just have this kick in the ass and I'm going to write my 5 fucking chapters in my book, or if I'm going to go and do a symposium and lift the spirits of 1,000 people. I have no idea. I don't know if I'm going to eat Chinese food tomorrow, let alone all the big things. But what I do know is it is important, and it is basically the crux of my philosophy. It is important to make everything about you fact. So you can be stronger from all the things that you love, stronger from the things you hate, stronger from the things that you've gone through, so that everything about you can serve you and you can cut out all of the extra, all the stuff that doesn't matter anymore. Stuff that it doesn't define you, it doesn't even resonate with you anymore. So there is my fact. Those are the biggest facts. Year ago, through the year, been depressed, haven't wanted to talk about it. Here I am talking about it. I hope that if whoever's watching, that you understand that this is not me saying, oh God, why me? This is me saying, I am better than what I have allowed myself to be. And I'm not disappointed in myself, really. I've been dealing with some real shit. I think we all have. But it's time to accept that I can be more than I am. And that's good. And that in accepting my mortality, that I can really cherish everything that I do, that I can love everything that I do on a new level and push myself to a new degree of everything that I possibly am already, and all the stuff that I want to be and want to be good at and stuff. Yeah, that was a terrible way of saying it, but I think you're on board. So thank you so much. This year has been weird. I needed to do this for me. And if you didn't make it this far, cool. I totally understand. If you didn't make it this far, I'm addressing those people. If you made it this far, thank you so much for the time. This is a big deal for me. If you are somebody who's dealt with similar things or worse, talk to me. I know I may not seem like it, but I actually have a wealth of knowledge on a lot of these subjects, hence why I'm going into the field that I am. And I would love to be, even if I can just be somebody for you to listen, somebody who can listen to you, I would love to be that somebody. I can't promise I'm going to fix you, because you should never promise somebody you can fix anybody, but I can promise I will listen. So that's my last year. That's the biggest thing in my last year is I've been dealing with my fucking depression, and it's here, and I had to talk about it. So thank you guys so much. I'm babbling, and I'm going over it again. So I'm going to call it good. My name is chknfoot. My name is Andrew. Thank you guys so much for all of your time. Thank you so much for coming around. I got a whole thing that I really like that I'm going to do. And whether it's on YouTube or not, who cares? For now, that's going to be it from me. Go and have the best day that you've ever had, and I'll see you again on chknfoot TV.